The possibility of receiving additional financial aid through stimulus checks has become a subject of keen interest in this video due to the ongoing financial challenges faced by many low-income and fixed-income households. Let's delve into the intriguing topic of potential stimulus checks and their impact on the economy. We'll discuss the several circumstances that can result in the printing of additional stimulus checks, as well as the possible advantages and drawbacks of doing so. Greetings and welcome to Updates Area, your go-to resource for the most recent information about Social Security and customized stimulus checks. Don't forget to subscribe and like, it'll help me a lot. I hope everyone is doing well. For American seniors, especially those receiving SSI, SSDI, and VIA, let's get right to it. First and foremost, it's important to note that stimulus checks are not primarily related to the COVID-19 epidemic, while prior rounds of stimulus payments were. Any subsequent stimulus checks would probably have a different goal, such as reviving the economy and tackling more general economic issues, as they were enacted in response to the economic fallout brought on by the pandemic. In the past, stimulus checks have shown to be a useful instrument for quickly supplying desperately needed funds during financial crises. Straight into the hands of people and enterprises. This cash infusion promotes expenditure, which in turn boosts the economy in a number of sectors, including manufacturing, retail, and hospitality. Since low-income recipients are more likely to spend their whole stimulus check, the economic impact may be increased because this group is more likely to stimulate direct economic activity. When we go back, we can see that stimulus checks have been used in a variety of situations, each one designed to meet the unique economic difficulties of the moment. One such example is the stimulus check that was issued in 2008. As we navigate the current economic landscape, there are a number of indicators that may lead the government to consider another round of stimulus checks. The first round of stimulus checks were intended to counteract the financial industry's collapse, while the second round was intended to lessen the effects of the real estate market crash. The concerns about economic instability have been raised by financial system cracks and the Federal Reserve's interest rate hikes. Uncertainties about the stability of the economy are further heightened by inconsistent jobless data and reports of large layoffs by major corporations. It's crucial to remember that although these elements could make the prospect of another stimulus package more likely, it would be foolish to draw hasty judgments or make assumptions too soon. Instead, it would be prudent to keep a close eye on these important metrics and be on the lookout for any indications of additional economic decline that would call for government action. The next stimulus check would probably be directed toward economic recovery, with the primary goal of revitalizing consumer spending and encouraging overall economic activity, in contrast to the previous rounds, which were primarily focused on COVID-19 relief. It is impossible to undervalue the Federal Reserve's involvement in handling economic crises in the event of a downturn. The Federal Reserve would probably take drastic steps to support and boost the economy, such as cutting interest rates and participating in quantitative easing, which involves pumping large amounts of money into the faltering economy. Congress is anticipated to move quickly to approve stimulus checks and offer people and companies instant help once the crisis reaches a critical point. History demonstrates that lawmakers recognize the need to act quickly in times of crisis, even though the procedure isn't always as, while Congress is frequently chastised for its apparent sluggishness, higher-income persons are more likely to preserve a portion of their stimulus checks, which may not contribute as directly to the targeted economic boost. History demonstrates that politicians are able to move quickly when similar to a turtle that can suddenly move quickly when needed, the requirement for stimulation checks develops. Congress has proven to be able to act quickly to address pressing economic issues. When individuals receive stimulus checks, the impact on businesses cannot be emphasized. A spike expenditure usually follows as customers swarm to stores like Walmart and Target to buy products and services. This unexpected surge in demand depletes stockpiles, forcing companies to replenish by placing orders with their suppliers, who then have to increase output with manufacturers. Flows of water. It's important to note that the precise requirements for eligibility and the amount of the next round of stimulus checks should they materialize, have not yet been decided. However, if the economic conditions are similar to those of early regarding the potential amount, experts estimate that it may vary from $12 to $2,000 per eligible individual, depending on several elements including income level and household size. Timing is also a significant factor when it comes to the 2020 eligibility requirements. It is likely that the same eligibility criterion would apply. Stimulus checks being issued. When the economy reaches a point where immediate action is deemed necessary to support individuals and businesses, the government is expected to step in and provide financial assistance. Therefore, keeping an eye on economic indicators like job creation, unemployment rates, and overall economic performance will be crucial in choosing the right moment to implement such measures. The job market is one important metric that will be closely monitored. In a booming economy, job losses usually result in higher unemployment rates. In a contracting economy, on the other hand, new startups and business growth, a need for additional laborers. The job market is currently seeing alarming changes, with lower-paid opportunities being created and higher-paying jobs being lost. This trend is not good for long-term economic growth. Another is the Federal Reserve's quantitative easing or money printing technique, component that may have an impact on the stimulus checks that are issued for years. Through quantitative easing programs, the Federal Reserve has been printing about $120 billion monthly. But, at times of economic downturn, the Federal Reserve may step up its efforts, pumping even greater quantities of money into the economy through a variety of channels, such as stimulus checks and other forms of relief. It's noteworthy that neither the government nor Congress have yet approved new stimulus checks, but continued observation of economic indicators and the possible need for economic intervention could lead to lawmakers should think about enacting another round of stimulus payments in the future. As we continue to navigate the constantly changing economic landscape, it is critical that we remain vigilant and flexible. The government's assessment of the current state of the economy plays a major role in determining whether to issue another round of stimulus checks, and its possible course, even if no firm plans have been revealed. The possibility still exists that if specific economic circumstances worsen to the degree that prompt action is thought to be required. A significant element that may affect the issuing of stimulus checks is the ongoing problem of inflation. With the cost of living standards are rising, and a growing number of households, especially those with lower incomes, are finding it difficult to make ends meet. In these situations, stimulus checks could offer much-needed relief by enabling people to afford necessities, and in turn, stimulating consumer spending, which could ultimately help reduce inflationary pressures. The COVID-19 pandemic is still having an impact on many industries and sectors, even though its initial waves have subsided. Some businesses and industries may still be dealing with the fallout, facing difficulties, and not yet fully recovering from the economic tailored stimulus measures could aid in their revival and guarantee the retention of jobs and economic stability in such circumstances where the pandemic's disruptions have occurred. It is crucial to remember that issuing stimulus checks is a serious choice that should not be made hastily. Decision-makers need to be cautious. Consider the possible advantages against the wider economic ramifications, such as the strain on federal budgets and the possibility of escalating inflationary pressures if stimulus checks are not used wisely. Although many people may find the idea of getting more money through stimulus checks appealing, it's important to realize that these actions should be seen as a temporary stopgap rather than a panacea for all economic problems. GAP intended to offer quick respite and boost economic activity at times of severe hardship. In the end, the long-term stability of the economy depends on a number of elements, including sound, monetary, and fiscal policies. While potentially beneficial in the short term, strong job creation, sustainable economic growth, and robust workforce stimulus checks should not be seen as a replacement for addressing the underlying structural issues that may be obstructing economic progress, as discussions surrounding potential stimulus checks proceed. People must always be aware and vigilant, keeping a careful eye on reliable news sources. Government statements and economic reports can offer important insights into the changing circumstances.